Imagine this. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. A train carrying the nation's fortune rushes through the English countryside. Suddenly, it screeches to a halt, not because of danger, but because a group of 15 masked men have just hijacked it. Within minutes, they vanish into the night with millions in cash. No bullets fired, no alarms raised, just the boldest heist Britain had ever seen. This is the story of the Great Train Robbery of 1963, a crime so daring, it would forever be called the crime of the century. The idea was born in the mind of Bruce Reynolds, a charismatic career criminal. Tired of small jobs, he wanted one final score, something legendary. He gathered a gang of 15 men, soldiers, hardened thieves, and expert drivers, their target. The Royal Mail night train, traveling from Glasgow to London. Inside, £2.6 million in used banknotes. Today, that would be worth over £60 million. The plan was deceptively simple. Near Leadburn, Buckinghamshire, they would rig a railway signal. When the train driver saw the red light, he would stop. In the silence of night, the gang would board, overpower the crew, and move the money-filled coach forward, away from the rest. No police, no bystanders, no time to react. It was risky. But to the gang it looked flawless. August 8th, 1963, at exactly 3 a.m. the red light flashed. The train slowed, then stopped. Driver Jack Mills leaned out of the window, confused. In seconds, masked men stormed the locomotive. Mills fought back, but he was struck on the head. The robbers uncoupled the first two coaches, driving them a short distance down the track. And then the work began. 120 heavy sacks of cash, tossed, carried, dragged into waiting trucks. In just 30 minutes, Britain's biggest ever theft was complete. Not a shot fired, the robbers melted into the darkness. With millions. The gang hid at Leatherslade Farm, their safe house in the countryside. They counted the fortune, celebrated their success, and dreamed of new lives. But millions in stolen money is a dangerous burden. They couldn't deposit it. They couldn't spend it too quickly, and worst of all, they couldn't stay hidden forever. The government was humiliated. The police launched one of the biggest manhunts in British history, roadblocks, helicopters, hundreds of officers. At first, the gang seemed invisible, but pride and carelessness betrayed them. At the farm, fingerprints were left on a monopoly board. Neighbors noticed strangers, and some of the gang simply couldn't resist showing off their sudden wealth. Within months, most of the gang were captured. In 1964, 11 men were sentenced to a combined 300 years in prison, some receiving 30 years each. The message was clear. This was not just a crime, but an embarrassment to the nation, and punishment would be severe. Yet even in prison, the story refused to die. Ronnie Biggs escaped, fleeing abroad and taunting the British authorities for decades. The Great Train Robbery wasn't just about money. It was about audacity, the idea that ordinary men could outsmart the system. For some, it was a story of daring genius. For others, a tale of greed and violence. Today, over 60 years later, the legend lives on in books, films, and documentaries. The Great Train Robbery proved one thing: no matter how perfect a crime seems, every plan has a flaw, and every fortune comes with a price.